Hello! It's been a while since I last did a video of a collection, like I did a makeup collection in the past, piercing jewelry collection. I don't think I've ever done an actual, normal, non-piercing jewelry collection video before, but if you want to see it, just ask and I'll film one. Probably in multiple parts because I have heaps and heaps of cheap jewelry and yeah. Anyway, this week I thought I'd show you my vinyl collection. I've gathered quite a lot over the past 3 years or so. I really don't want to know how much money I've spent on it by now. Like, I really don't want to know at all. But yeah, either way, I thought it'd be fun to film this because, statistics say that more and more younger people actually buy vinyl again. Because, the most stated reason is, and I completely agree with it, is that you just listen to it better. Because, I don't know, with MP3 files I'm often skipping through things and not really listening to it, because usually I just listen to that while working or whatever. Whereas with vinyl I actually listen to it and I just enjoy it more. So yeah, but I don't think there's actually a lot of YouTube videos about it yet, about like vinyl collections, and I actually really enjoy watching them. So I'm just hoping, like, by making a video as well, more people will also make a video and I'll have more videos to watch about other people's music preferences. Anyway, let's get on with it. I have 3 categories. I have the category of sort of like best of type of albums of David Bowie, normal David Bowie albums and 2 David Bowie singles, and then a pile of stuff that isn't David Bowie. Yeah. I actually never wanted to collect all albums by one artist, and then I, of course, as usual, because as usually when I decide to not want to do something, I end up doing it. So yeah, right now I'm trying to collect all of his albums. I already have 14, I think. And he made about 26 of them in total. So yeah, I still have a lot to buy. So yeah, but we'll start with the non-David Bowie stuff and I'll just go through it real quick. And yeah, like if you want to know more about the album, you can always look it up, of course. But if I really would spend like 5 minutes talking about each and every one, I would be here for the next 5 hours. And there's a 20-minute limit on my camera. So yeah, let's get started. First off, I'll just start with the records that I didn't actually buy myself. But instead the ones that I stole from my parents. They didn't have a lot of interesting stuff. Like, they don't have a lot of interesting stuff in terms of music, at least in my opinion. But stuff that was interesting I borrowed. They know where it is, so yeah, it's not really stealing. Anyway, the first 2 are actually my mom's. This one is a Beatles album, one of those the best of albums. This is from 1962 to 1966. And it has 2 pieces of vinyl in it, and the cardboard is sort of broken. And my lost pet rabbit actually got to it as well. Anyway, yeah, that's normal over here in the attic. Anyway, the other one is a Cliff Richard album. This is I'm Nearly Famous. And yeah, this contains a lot of really cool songs. Then I've got 3 ABBA ones, which are actually my dad's. I have no idea why he has that many ABBA albums actually, but I don't know, I just like ABBA. It's just really, like, I don't know, it's really fun to sing along. Not fun to listen to when I'm singing along, believe me. But it's really fun to sing along, and yeah, I just really like, like, the lines just usually aren't very happy, but the melody is, so yeah. Then I've got 3 Pat Benatar albums. All 3 of these, like all the rest of this, except for one thing which I'll mention, was all bought at Plaatwolf here in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. Rotterdam. They also have one in Den Haag or Utrecht. One of the 2. Either way, yeah, I bought all of these myself and didn't steal them off my parents, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I have these 3 Pat Benatar albums. And my favorite of which is actually the front one. This is In the Heat of the Night, just because it contains the most songs that I like. And then I have a bunch of rock albums. For a start, I have this one by Journey, which is actually a live album. And I don't particularly like to listen to live albums for some reason. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why, I just prefer the studio album, so I don't actually ever listen to it. But it was only €7.50, so not really important. Then I have these 3, which are MSD and Dokken and Deep Purple, which are all 3 really fun. And then lastly I have this one by Europe, The Final Countdown. I mainly actually bought this because I really loved Europe back in high school. I was in high school at like the beginning of the 21st century. Like the music was already 20 years old by then. 20 years old by then. But still, I love them. And yeah, actually after a while I sort of got bored with them and don't actually listen to it anymore. But I saw this one and I was like, just for nostalgia's sake, I'll just buy it. And then the next category, the best of albums. I actually, well, I was gonna say I don't have a lot of them. I actually do have quite a lot of them, but I sort of stopped buying them because I realized the same songs are basically repeated on most of them. Like the most famous songs, of course, are repeated on all those albums, and then you just have like the same song on 5 different ones, and that's just not very useful, so I don't really buy those anymore unless they have a nice image on the front. So yeah, for a start I have this one which has a lot of images on the front. And it's the one that's called Another Face, and it just has the more, like the less well-known songs. Then I have these two which just contain the most famous songs. And this one which contains unreleased demos, but I actually bought it because the vinyl itself is actually printed with the images that are also on the cardboard. So yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Okay, then here are the albums of David Bowie that I have so far collected. They're heavy. Anyway, yeah, the first one is this one, which was his first, I think, studio album. It's from, I don't know how old it is. Like really, I have no idea how old it is. Like it only says 2010, but it is a reprint of an old album. But it doesn't say how old the old album is, so I have no idea at all. Oh wait, it says in the inside. Anyway, it's from 1967. Then I have this one, which is the Space Oddity album, which is pretty much the one he got famous with. And yeah, the image is pretty cool as well, with his hair like that. Then there's the Man Who Sold the World album and Hunky Dory. And this one is actually one of my favorites, especially the song All the Madmen is really, really cool. By the way, I try to keep them all like in chronological order, like from old to new, so that's the order in which you're seeing them now. Then I have this one, which is the Ziggy Stardust album, and I especially love the song 5 Years. I think it's really interesting in a way. And I thought the image was also pretty cool. Then there's Pinups, which I actually bought this one because I just thought the image looks very creepy. It has sort of like a pinup style to it, the music as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, again, I mainly bought it really originally because the image just creeped me out with all doll-like stuff. I don't know, I just don't like dolls. And then there's the Ellen Insane album, which this is actually a reprint. That is pretty obvious, I think. Like the ones that are actually old are of course more, well, the cardboard is more worn out and stuff. And the vinyl is a lot more dusty. But yeah, this one is actually a reprint. I prefer to actually, I think I already said that, but I prefer to actually buy the original, like really old second-hand ones and not the reprints, both because they're cheaper. And also, I don't know, I just prefer it when they're actually truly old. But yeah, I also really like this one. Then these two I actually bought yesterday while shopping, so I don't really have to show them in the shopping haul anymore now. Yeah, they were actually only 25 euros bought together, so that's also pretty good. They're actually old. This one is the Station to Station album, which contains a lot of songs that were also in the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth, I think. That's at least what it says on the thing. And then there's the Low album, which I really had been wanting for quite a long time, because I think the image is seriously really awesome and just art-like. Yeah. And then I have these two. I'm just showing them by two now because my camera is telling me that I've been at it for quite some time, and yeah, I'm really trying not to make my videos too long. Anyway, there's the Heroes album and the, Tonight album, and of this one I especially love the song Loving the Alien. Actually I heard it on the internet for the first time and I just thought it was really, really cool. And I really wanted it on vinyl, and then I saw this one and I was like, I need to have it. These ones are both actually old, by the way, so they were pretty cheap. Then the most expensive one I ever bought was this one, the Outside album. This is obviously also a, you know, new, not pre-owned one. But yeah, that's pretty much the thing. Like for a start, it has 2 pieces of vinyl and looks very complicated. I'm not going to completely fold it out because then the vinyl will fall out. But yeah, the thing is, when buying vinyl, at least the stores here, like, you know, the one store I go to actually, like sometimes they have something and then once it's gone, it's just gone, and it may be gone forever or at least for years. So when I encounter something I really want, I just always buy it because, you know, I might not get another chance. So this one was 70 euros, which really hurt my wallet, but it's worth it because it is a really, really awesome album. And then lastly I have the two newest ones, like the last one he did. And the one before that was the next day. And yeah, like with a lot of bands, like with Europe, for example, like when they get older, I don't particularly like their music anymore. For some reason, I don't know, just like the tone changes and sometimes it just doesn't get, like, it's not fun anymore. Like with Europe, I personally thought their newer albums were sort of depressing in comparison to their older stuff. Like, it was still, you know, good. Like, not that I know anything about music, but I still thought it was good music. But I don't know, it just didn't sound very joyful anymore. Whereas with him, it just, like, David Bowie's music just stayed awesome. So yeah, I also really like this one. And then lastly I have the Black Star album, which I actually pre-ordered luckily before he died. Because otherwise I probably wouldn't have gotten the, well, most definitely wouldn't have gotten the limited edition. Because, you know, after he died it was like sold out within, I don't know, a day or so. But yeah, it's the limited edition clear vinyl. You can see through it, which is really, really cool. And yeah, actually really like the design on the front as well. Although I do have to admit, it is not very handy because it's really just a cutout, so, you know, you gotta be careful with it. And being careful is not something I'm very good at, unfortunately. But yeah, it's still unbroken, as you can see, like, obviously the vinyl, but also the cardboard. It does have a bit of a dent here, but we'll just ignore that. Anyway, yeah, fun or, like, enjoyable to listen to is not really the word I'd use for this, because, you know, you just know that it's the last album he did while he was already very ill. But I still think it's a very good album. I don't listen to it very often, but it's still a really, really good album nevertheless. But yeah, then lastly I also have two singles. These are actually the only singles I have, like, in my entire collection, vinyl collection thing. Because I don't usually buy singles, because there's usually only a single song on it, one or two songs, and that's it. And yeah, I just prefer to buy a complete album, but I just really wanted these two. For a start, this one, which is the Absolute Beginner single, because I really, really like the song and I think the photo is really cute. And also this one, because actually, well, how it went was, I read a dick joke on crack.com about David Bowie as the Goblin King in Labyrinth, because he was wearing really, really tight trousers in it. So yeah, I got curious, watched the movie, and then I actually started to listen to David Bowie's music. And then I spent way too much money on vinyl. That's pretty much how it went. But yeah, then so this one, and this is the, well, it's not the official soundtrack from the movie Labyrinth. It's actually the extended dance version. But it has a photo of the Goblin King on the front and the Goblin King's owl form on the back. And it's just really, really cool. So yeah, I saw this one and I was immediately like, I need to have it. Like, it's literally the only time I ever saw this one at the record store, so I'm really glad I bought it then. It was only 5 euros as well, so that's also nice. And yeah, that was finally my entire vinyl collection. So yeah, I'll try to edit the video so it's not 5 hours long. Either way, yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have any, like, you know, tips on what music you like to listen to, please tell me, because I like to listen to new stuff as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye!